Hi there, Marc Emery, publisher of Cannabis Culture magazine here, and I've got a very special guest, Celerino Castillo, who is a former DEA agent and author of Powder Burns, Cocaine, Contras, and the Drug War. Mr. Castillo is a very distinguished former DEA agent in that he has helped uncover a lot of government malfeasance in the drug war. He's appeared in movies like American Drug War, The Damage Done, and The Secret Wars of the CIA. And pleased to meet you, Mr.
My
Castillo.
pleasure, sir. Thank you for having me.
Welcome here to Canada and the Cannabis Culture magazine. Tell us a bit of your history. You were a DEA agent for how many years?
We're 12 years down, 6 straight years in Central America and South America, fighting the so-called war on drugs. And basically, we're out there training people, anti-terrorist units and so forth. And, on search and destroy missions, just like we did in Vietnam, we did it in Central and South America.
Were you in Vietnam?
Yes, sir, I was.
What was your task in Vietnam?
I was a sniper, 11B40, infantry sergeant, and was in Vietnam for a year. And
what year is that?
1971, 72.
In the final stages?
In the final stages, but we were into Cambodia at that time period, running covert operations.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you've been doing the dirty work of the government for some years until recently?
Yeah, until recently, yeah, exactly.
So how did you go from being in Vietnam? You were recruited to join DEA after your service?
Right, because of my jungle expertise, I was hired by the DEA in 1979, but however, my first assignment was the concrete jungles of New York City. And I did 4 years working undercover on organized crime families in New York City.
How did that go?
It went pretty good. We were very productive in working down there on organized crime family, and that was my training was conducting undercover operations all over New York. So that's what I did.
And that was from 75 to 79?
That's from 79 to 1984.
And then in 1984, you found yourself in Central America.
In 84, I found myself in South America. I was down in the jungles of Peru, down the Amazon, and fighting the cocaleros, as they call them, where they produce the coca and then they ship it down to Colombia and process it to hydrochloride.
And what was your assignment?
My assignment was to go out on search and destroy missions, find the clandestine cocaine labs. We used a lot of CIA satellite photos to pinpoint all the cocaine labs in the Amazon, and basically we knew where every cocaine lab was, but we were of course instructed not to take those out because
who would have instructed you?
The United States government. They did not want us to destroy the cocaine labs because...
Well, that would have to come through the embassy then.
Right, through the embassy. I worked right out of the embassy. And basically, it was that. It was that we were down there putting a dog and pony show for the American people that were fighting the so-called war on drugs when, in fact, we were protecting the drug traffickers down there.
By the way, for our audience, a dog and pony show is...
Dog and pony show is putting up a front so the American people can get an idea that we were fighting the so-called war on drugs when in fact we were not.
So why wasn't the government having you eradicate these?
Well, economics purposes. For example, a lot of those third world countries depend on drug monies and funding and so forth. And as you know, the cartels have always supported the parties down in South and Central America. And basically what they were trying to do was the American people or the American government authorized for them to, as we call it, sleep with the cartels. And that was their reward for them to do that and make money and at the same time ship large quantities of cocaine to the U.S.
So you're saying that the ambassador to Peru from the United States knows that?
Yes, not only every single ambassador from Salvador, from Guatemala, all those third world countries, we allowed, that's what we did. We actually went out there and we built what is known as cocaine democracies. And
explain that term, cocaine democracies.
Cocaine democracies is that at the Reagan-Bush era, we allowed these third world countries to sleep with the cartels in the sense that they could ship cocaine out of them as long as it was documented as a democracy. Remember, we have supported dictatorships for many, many years in South and Central America, but we moved into democracy, and of course there was no such animal as a democracy, and we called it cocaine democracies because we allowed those third world countries to to trafficking in drugs.
Now, where are you from originally?
I'm from Texas, born and raised in Texas, second generation, yes, sir.
So, but you have dark skin, darker than me, and Texans I meet that are white look white. So where is your family from before you came over?
My grandparents were from Mexico, but they were raised in the United States, and my parents were born in the U.S., and
so you speak Spanish?
I speak Spanish fluently, and I speak Vietnamese a little bit, and I also speak English. Try to speak English anyway.
How long were you in South America?
I was in South America from 84 to 1992.
That's a long stretch.
Yes, a long stretch.
Now, you'd have seen lots in that time.
Well, I certainly have, and that's why I got to a point where I realized that that was not what I had signed up for. And it turned out that we were the bad guys. We were the ones involved in all kinds of atrocities. And of course, when you speak out about that, the first thing they do is they label you as a crazy nut. But as it turned out, as the years went by, it was revealed that our government were complicit in drug trafficking, and it continued to be complicit in drug trafficking.
Now, you found that out in what year?
I found that out in 1984. Of course, the first time I was in denial.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you said
I was in denial, and then I said, there's got to be something to this. But when I realized that we were the ones that were involved in the drug trafficking,
and you gave reports to your superiors.
Oh, absolutely.
I've observed drug trafficking going on, there's problems here.
And Mark, what really helped me out a lot was that I kept journals. At the end of the day, I would go home and write down the important things that happened that day. And that's why I was able to write my book in 3 months, because I just kept journals, and I'm also an avid photographer.
Now, that story of U.S. government collusion in the cocaine trade is in this book.
Absolutely. That's in there.
So, Powder Burns by Castillo. You can order it from Amazon.com.
Or you can go to my website, powderburns.org, and get a copy.